So welcome back to the Doctor's Stoppage, new rebrand of the old Haymaker MMA. We got the new, better Shaah brother here, Neel Shaah. Happy to have you, dude. Not the best card coming, but we got Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira. You got Jan Sandhagen and Makhachev Hooker somewhere over the rainbow to get us through these next couple of weeks. But happy to have you here, man.
Good to be here. Good to be here, Ian. It's been a while since I've tried to be on the podcast. My little brother is trying to keep me off it, and now I finally get on it, so I'm glad to be here.
Here to win some money.
The card's not that great. Yeah, here to win some money, and here to make others win some money too. So I'm hoping to help here. And not the best card here today, but I'm hoping we get some better fights in the upcoming weekends when we have some pay-per-views going.
Yeah, like I said, I think that UFC 267, it's what's been driving me through the last two kind of, the undermanned fight nights. They don't have the most excitement leading up to it, but I feel like they always perform on the night. But still, super, super excited for the UFC 267, hoping to win some money on that. But first, we got the Norma Dumont versus Aspen Ladd card coming up here. I got five bets that I think are strong. I don't think there's too many really strong betting opportunities. I think you would agree with me there on this card. But I think I found some good ones. So I'll start off with I'll do my least confident bet here. An exciting fight with Julian Marquez and Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright's the Beverly Hills Ninja, but he's kind of he's super dangerous in that first round. He's got, I think, out of his 12 wins, 11 are first round KOs. He kind of has like that Taekwondo karate style, but he's fighting a guy in Julian Marquez who's shown that he has a little more gas than Jordan Wright, who's never really been out of the first minute of the second round in his career. And when he did that, he got KO'd by Joaquin Buckley, who's kind of been an explosive fighter, either KOing or getting KO'd. But I have some confidence in Julian Marquez to survive that first round flurry against a tired Jordan Wright and be able to. He's never gotten a takedown, so I don't think or shot a takedown. So I don't think he's gonna pull off a submission here, as he's done in a lot of other fights. When he gets a submission, it's usually from other people threatening a takedown, and that's kind of how his takedown defense is to threaten those guillotines or those front headlock chokes. But I see Julian Marquez getting out of that first round danger of Jordan Wright and securing a win for himself. That's coming in for at money line. He's a minus 205, so not the best odds. But what do you think happens in this one?
So I kind of agree with you here, Ian, because when you look at his record, he hasn't fought like the best competition. Like before he came into the UFC, he was fighting some shit competition. No one's like he was fighting people who had never won a fight. So he was knocking out people who didn't really matter at that time. So, and I think Julian Marquez is an animal. He's a truck. He's the guy who overcomes adversity. He gets knocked down, he gets back up, and he subs you out. He gets knocked down, he gets back up, he knocks you out. So I'm pretty confident here on Julian Marquez inside distance. I'm not sure if it's going to be a TKO or a sub. So on my betting card, on my book here, I'm getting him inside distance for, I think, minus 135. So I'm quite happy with that one, and I think it's my top three, my third pick here for tonight for this card. And I think the only path to victory for Wright, as you said, is in round one. He's got good kicks, but he's never been out of the second round. He's fought a minute in the second round. So I think Marquez takes it in round two. If you can sprinkle someone Marquez in round two or round three, that would be a good bet as well if you're getting good odds on your book.
Yeah, I'm also really confident in Julian Marquez and his ability. What made him kind of my least confident pick out of the five I put together is the fact that he, like you said, he always gets dropped in the first round. I don't know what's good with it, but he always gets rocked or wobbled, maybe not dropped, and then comes back and hammers people. But there's something about that Taekwondo kick style, like we saw in I don't know if you saw
those kicks kind of worry me.
The Steve Garcia versus Charlie Ontiveros last week. Did you catch that fight?
Yeah, yep.
So Steve Garcia is so much better and tough as nails, but those weird little axe kicks and shit. For some reason they don't even look like they hit that hard, and they really wobble people. So those combined were what made me nervous about Julian Marquez as being as confident as he maybe should be, being a lot better fighter than Jordan Wright. But definitely agree.
This is my least confident pick here, and that is Brandon Davis by moneyline against Dana Bhatkaral. I'm not sure how to say his name, but I like this pick here a little bit. Davis is a much bigger fighter here, and I think Bhatkaral has had a lot of trouble on the ground in the past, and I think if Davis can get this fight to the ground, he can just keep it on the ground, or he could finish him on the ground, I think. So I think you're getting good money. He's the underdog here. Brandon Davis money line. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, this wasn't one of my 5, but it's one that I looked very, very heavily into because I totally agree. I think when fight night comes around, I will definitely have Brandon Davis on a parlay or 2 or something like that because the guys that he lost to in the UFC were some killers. He came off of
they're good. They're good.
He lost it should be mentioned, that he got cut a couple, I guess 2.5 years ago at this point, and then went on a run outside of the UFC. Now he's been brought back, but like I was saying before, like it was like Giga Chikadze he lost a split decision to, who's a goddamn animal. He won a fight over Randy Brown, Randy Costa, who's
Randy Costa, yeah.
I think kind of the better version of Jordan Wright if we think about it. Like has that of taekwondo, but also is ready to bang and is super fast with hands.
Smooth, yeah.
But he choked him out in the second round, and Zabit, like you said. So he has some good UFC experience, and I agree that I think he has a great shot of winning this. He does great on the feet, and I think he has a better ground game than Dana Bhatkaral, or I think you said it better than I did. But he's Mongolian, and he struggles on the ground, but goddamn, he just has he just looks like he's made out of wood.
Yeah.
So that was one that kind of slid off into the behind the maybe a number 7 or 8 bet rank that I would do this weekend, but definitely something to think about. I would tend to agree.
Yeah, I also think that in this case, Dana Bhatkaral, he could knock out Brandon Davis, but just the competition Brandon Davis has fought gave me some more confidence on him sustaining that pressure from Dana and just taking him down and just keeping him down for 2 rounds and maybe losing a round, but just keeping him down for 2 rounds that way.
And he's tough as shit, and it should be noted looking at his record here. He's never been KO'd. I've seen him get his ass beat, but he's never been KO'd. Yeah. We got some vets fighting, and I'm backing both of them, but I'll go with my first one here, and Jim Miller. I think really all you have to know, especially after betting or following the UFC for a while, is how much a vet versus somebody who's very green in the UFC, or especially a debut. And when you're debuting, you get minus points off of your skill set for most people, because there's so many other mental factors and different things that everybody faces on that debut that tends to not let them fight how they fight at their best ability. Especially opposed to a Jim Miller, who I could be wrong, but he's definitely number 1 or 2 in most UFC fights, up there with Bisping and Donald Cerrone. And Jim Miller, if you look at Eric Gonzalez's fight, he's fought a guy who's in the UFC right now, Rafa Garcia, and he got taken down many times at will by Rafa Garcia. I know Jim Miller isn't necessarily just a grappling takedown kind of specialist, but that is definitely one of his past victories, a takedown, either lay in prey to win a decision or hunt a submission. And yeah, just all of that combined, just the vet of Jim Miller and the debut of Eric Gonzalez combined with Gonzalez's kind of weaker takedown defense. But I'm taking Jim Miller money line minus 225. I don't know how he's going to get it done, but all signs point to Jim Miller.
Gotcha. I completely agree with you on this one. Jim Miller is my second pick here. I've got Jim Miller by submission, actually, because I'm getting good value on the submission and money line minus 225. Yeah, you could put in a parlay for sure, but I don't want to go straight on a minus 225.
Little steep.
And another thing to note is that Gonzalez, as you said, Gonzalez's takedown defense is terrible. It's terrible, and he's lost his 4 losses. 2 of them have been through submission. So if someone else is going to submit you, Jim Miller is definitely going to submit you if it's possible. So, and another fun fact about Jim Miller, his last 4 wins have been by submission in the first round. So I'm definitely going to sprinkle some on Jim Miller in round 1 by submission, and I'm also going to put some on Jim Miller by submission.
Interesting. Might be definitely something I might look into also, just to lessen those odds, because you're right, it is a little steep on Jim Miller.
Jim Miller, yeah. Because Eric Gonzalez, as you said, it's his debut, and there's always less confidence on a debutant. So I'm definitely siding with the experienced fighter here in Jim Miller.
All right, the next vet on my list here is Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky. The dude has had so many different evolutions and resurgences, has gone on long streaks of losing and winning. But recently, I think he's found like his, he's never going to be back at the title, but I think he's found his his stride as a just a full, well-rounded, not going to take tons of damage, and can still win these fights. Now, with that being said, the last 6 to probably 7 fights he's won have come by decision. He doesn't have those really hard knockout power, one-punch power anymore, because he's not engaging in those crazy kind of brawls like he had been for a little while when he was younger. I mean, shit, he was in the UFC. I'm trying to see when his first UFC fight was in 2000. Jesus Christ. That was 21 years ago, man.
Years.
Oh my God. So unbelievable. And he's an American top team guy. And then you look at Carlos Felipe, who he's fighting, who's definitely been doing well in the UFC. Another guy who hasn't been, not that he doesn't have the knockout power, but he doesn't find the ways to land his power punches, in my opinion. He's won fights over dudes who are all about that, who kind of have the same build as him. He's kind of got that Samoan, that thick, a little bit chubby, that Tai Tuivasa kind of build. He's Brazilian, but he's got that Samoan, and he wings shit, right? He doesn't, not the most technical, but he's got some decent output, but he's not technical, and he wings shit. He's gotten some wins over Jorgen De Castro, Justin Tafa, Jay Collier, who all have that same build as him. I think Arlovsky's going to be
decent names.
Too long, decent names, but I think Arlovsky's going to be too long. Has adopted too good of that point fighting style and that kind of bullshit winging kind of brawly style that Felipe, I think, has been bringing recently, isn't going to win this fight for him. So I got Andre Arlovsky by decision at plus 175, and I'm pretty confident with that. That's my number 3 confident pick.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I've got while I was looking at this fight, the main thing I noticed was both these fighters are now decision fighters. They don't finish people anymore. So I thought the first thing I thought was over 2.5 a fight doesn't go to decision, right? So I'm gonna sprinkle some on that for sure. But I've definitely noticed improvements in Arlovsky in his last 3-4 fights when he's stuck to his game plan. He's decided what he's wanted to do. He stuck his jab out there, and he's won on points in every fight. And I think he does the same thing against Carlos Felipe. Felipe is kind of wild. I don't think he has the power to finish Arlovsky, so that's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And Arlovsky's last KO, and I don't think Arlovsky's going to KO Felipe either, because he's going to stick to his game plan and just jab him out throughout the fight. And his last KO was 17 fights ago, so I don't see it coming anytime soon. So I agree with your bet as well, but I think I'm going to stick to mine and just go for the over 2.5 and just hope this fight goes to decision.
I back that 100%. That was another one that's definitely going to be on my list come fight night. When I was thinking about, I just started loving Arlovsky in it, and made me hedge more toward to the decision. Do you know what the line is for to go to the?
Yeah. I'm just going to tell you right now. So yeah. I'm using a card here. I'm using a book here that's only available in India. So not a lot of people are going to get these odds. Right. But the fight to go the distance is 1.6. So I'm looking at the odds in the decimal version. I'm not sure what that is.
Right. I've been doing that fucking every goddamn Saturday with Arjun and Sid. I don't know if do you know Arjun?
I don't think so.
He's buddies with Tanai. I think they know each other from back home. So
Oh, Arjun. Okay, yeah, I know Arjun.
Sorry, I put my white boy accent on it, and maybe it's a totally different name to you, but that
no. You said it right, and it's kind of funny you said that because like as soon as I started talking to you, my American accent just kind of started pulling out of me a little bit too. Right. So now I'm gonna feel weird. Like my boys in India are gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right. But so yeah, Arjun Arjun and Sid all get that's who I bet with the fucking every Saturday and shit, and they all get all their odds, so the in the decimals, and I'd be like, "Bro, fucking tell me what it is in plus and minus, dude. I can't compute that shit." They try to teach me, but
I still find it tough to like convert it. I just can't. I can't convert it on the spot. I need to go back and just change it up and then look at it again. So over 2.5, you're getting minus 188. So I'm quite happy with that line. To parlay that line as well with a couple other things here.
Very nice. Do you got another one, or should I go on to? I guess I got two more.
Yeah. I've got two good ones too. Let me go ahead with this one. Sure. I'm pretty confident on this one too. So I've got Andrew Sanchez versus Bruno Silva. So this fight I think is gonna go Bruno Silva's way. So I'm thinking Bruno Silva by the money line or TKO. I'm waiting to see them on the scales yet, just to see. Even with the Brandon Davis fight, I'm waiting to see how he looks on the scales. It's been a while since he's been back. And I'm thinking the same thing with Andrew Sanchez and Bruno Silva. I think Silva's much better on the feet. His striking is much better than Sanchez's striking, and the only way Sanchez wins this fight is if he takes him down and holds him down. But like Silva has shown like crazy takedown defense in his last two fights, and it's only lost by submission ever. And I don't see Andrew Sanchez subbing out Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva since has become a brown belt in jiu-jitsu as well, so that gives me a little bit more confidence that if he gets taken down, he'll be able to get back up. And I think Sanchez is also on his way out now. He's been there in the UFC for a while, and he's kind of fading out. I think he's one of those fighters that, they're getting his last three fights, and people going up are getting him to fight so that they can get the easy win. So I think I'm going to go with Bruno Silva, moneyline or TKO, depending on what he looks like at the weigh-ins.
Yeah, I think one thing to note about Bruno Silva too is like he only has one fight in the UFC, but you look at all of his fights outside of the UFC, and they're not cans. They're all guys with extensive records. Granted they're foreign and you don't recognize their names besides Alexander Shlemenko, who I do recognize his name, unless there's like 75 Alexander Shlemenkos in Russia, but you see a lot of these guys who are either have a lot of hype or are green in the UFC, and you look at a lot of their regional records, and it's like you were saying. I believe it was with Jordan Wright earlier. It's guys who are 0-1, 1-0,
exactly.
2-2, but not for Bruno Silva. So I agree. I would favor Bruno Silva in this one. This isn't one that I did the most research into. This is Tuesday, so it's good to get these out early as the odds change heavily, but doesn't give you the most time to do the most research on them. So Andrew Sanchez, Bruno Silva didn't get the most research on, but the research I did do, signs pointed to Bruno Silva for sure. So I got my second most confident one here with Ramazan Emeev versus Danny Roberts. I got Ramazan, who's just the typical kind of Russian, good, tough as nails, not the best striking, but decent enough striking to parlay it into a takedown where they can really kind of just have that bear style wrestling where it's nothing fancy, but it's just full control, wrap up some legs. That's really been what's winning his fights in the UFC. Some notable wins for sure for Ramazan. I should have said for Danny Roberts. Ramazan doesn't have the most notable wins, but does his thing. The only time he lost was against Anthony Rocco Martin, who was a great wrestler, a great jiu-jitsu guy and good on the feet, so had enough defensive stuff to kind of keep Ramazan at a bay. But I don't think Danny Roberts, I always fade the English over against the Russians because they always suck at grappling. For whatever reason, their fight culture and they don't have that young grappling kids who have been doing this shit since they were in elementary school, like you do in Russia, or you're born like fucking Khabib grappling with a goddamn baby bear. So I think that's going to be the deciding factor. I think Danny Roberts has an impressive record and skill set, but I think Ramazan Namiv's wrestling and grappling capabilities is going to be too tough on the feet, and I think he's just going to be able to control Danny Roberts on the ground and win a decision that way. So I got Ramazan Namiv by decision at plus 110, which is kind of crazy because I don't think he's ever won a fight by stoppage, but still giving it to me in plus money.
Yeah, we've been on the same line this whole card till even. I agree with you on Ramzan Namiv too. This is my number 2 pick as well. So Ramzan Namiv, he has some problems on the feet. Like you noticed that he'll have some problems on the feet, but it's not easy to knock him out. And Roberts, I looked at some stats, and he has a 53% takedown defense. So when you look at something like that, and you look at who he's facing in Ramzan Namiv, who just attacks on takedowns, he won't throw you a punch. He'll throw you three takedowns against you, but he won't throw you a punch. So I like Ramzan Namiv a lot here. Also, another thing to note is that Danny Roberts hasn't fought in 2 years, so that's going to take a little bit of a gas out of him. He's going to be back in the ring, so there's going to be that rust, the ring rust that you get on fighters who haven't fought in a while. And I expect Namiv to get him down, and as soon as he gets him down, he's just going to keep him down and just kind of batter him out a little bit. But I don't think he'll finish him because he's never finished anyone. So I like Ramzan Namiv by decision at plus 110. That's a great pick right there. I've got Ludovic Klein versus Nate Landwehr.
Interesting.
So I kind of really like Ludovic Klein in this fight. I've seen Nate Landwehr fight the last 3 fights he's fought, and he's just so hittable. He's so hittable. He leaves the chin right out there. He's just wild. He can take a hit for sure, but like if he gets hit like 5 or 6 times, he's just gonna get knocked out by Klein. And Klein, I've seen a couple of Klein's old fights as well. He's just had so many head kick knockouts. He's had like over 6 head kick knockouts in his past victories. So, like, I definitely see Klein getting an opening to give him a head kick and just finish him in round 1 or 2. Landwehr's only way path to victory here is to take him down, and I think he might even take down Klein, but Landwehr on the ground, he doesn't do much. He gets him down, but, like, Klein, I expect Klein to get right back up and go back to a stand-up and punch and kick the shit out of him. So, that's my favorite pick here, Ludovic Klein by KO/TKO. I'm not sure what I'm getting it at here. 1 second.
It's all good.
I'll just check on it.
Yeah,
you got it?
I'll fill it for you here. I got I'm also just gonna add, like, he's also coming off of a 50-second KO loss to Julian Erosa, and that was a knee to the face. So his face, like, I just feel like he's gonna get a head kick in the first round and just get knocked. Yeah, similar to now I can't remember who the fuck we were saying about. Marquez versus Wright, where Nate Landwehr, you look at the Darren Elkins fight where those two fought, where it's like Darren Elkins isn't a guy who has that KO power, that one-shot power. He's a volume dude who just wears you out, and he couldn't wear out Nate Landwehr because he's kind of got that same iron head kind of bullshit where the volume doesn't do it. But he's there to get the lights turned out. And who throws those heavy, hard high kicks? Ludovic Klein. You're totally right. That doesn't matter if you can withstand the bunch of volumes of punches. If it's those big kicks that just cut your lights out, one punch or one kick KO power, that's not much you can do about that. So I agree. That wasn't on my list, but I would agree with that pick for sure. All right, that only leaves me for my number 1 pick here. Might be a surpriser, but I think I've done the due research, and I think it's a sleeper that is going to win me some good cash this weekend. I got Norma Dumont to win over Aspen Ladd. Aspen Ladd coming off the weight miss over who the fuck was she fighting? Macy Chiasson last weekend. Yeah. And then Holly Holm dropped out for this main event, so she offered to go up against Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont is goddamn big, dude. She is a big chick.
She's huge.
And it's not like super tall, but she just has like those tree trunk legs, man. And she, if you look at her fight with Felicia Spencer, she's not afraid to. She wants to kind of bring the fight on. Definitely started slow and needed to throw more volume, but has that. I always say to Tanai that Brazilian testosterone, man, that those chicks have for whatever reason, that just they have that aggression, and she's ripped. She's got big biceps or big freaking legs, but she just carries weight, dude. She's a big chick, and I think Aspen Ladd has had trouble with those people who are bigger and stronger. When you look at her fight with Jermaine Durandame, who KO'd her with the first time she fucking touched her. And Norma Dumont, I feel like she could even be in like the 155 division. She's just real big. Had great Muay Thai kickboxing combinations against Felicia Spencer when she fought last time. I just think Aspen Ladd's gonna have trouble. I can even see her getting a TKO later in the rounds when Aspen starts to gas a little more. I don't think Aspen's gonna be able to kind of impose a physicality enough to take her to the ground. I think Norma's gonna be able to stop all that offensive wrestling and land some good strikes in the clinch. I got Norma Dumont as the underdog at plus 118. And even, I'm going to take I guess they don't have it on FanDuel. I would even see what the odds are for her to win by KO, Norma Dumont by TKO, because I can seriously see it happening in the later rounds, 3, 4, or 5, over kind of half the, over a not ready Aspen Ladd. Put it that way.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one too, Ian. So basically, my thought process for this fight was, this is a 5-round fight. These guys have never been in 5-round fights before, and they both have a few finishes on their record. So you can always bet on one of them finishing. And another bad sign on Aspen Ladd's side that I thought that I should point out was that she missed weight just a week ago. Even though it was a weight class under, she missed weight. So she went through that pain of cutting down to almost making weight. She went through that whole weight cut, and now she's putting on weight and coming back. So I think her gas tank won't be up to the level she wants it to be. And also going 5 rounds with Norma Dumont, who's coming right at you for 5 rounds, is going to be tough. So Norma Dumont, inside distance by KOTK was a great pick here. I completely agree with you. I was going to fade Aspen Ladd here, but I just stray on. I've never had a good record on betting women's MMA, so I just kind of stay away from women's bets here. Like, if I get if I see a great pick, I'm definitely taking it. But like, if it's just like a 50-50 or a 60-40, I'm not touching it. So this one I'm not going to touch at all for sure.
Yeah, I will say I think this is one of the fights that I don't think this line will stay this line for long. This is Tuesday. They don't have any of the prop wagers out for FanDuel at least, or DraftKings, which is the two kind of most popular ones in America. So I can see Norma Dumont ending at a either even money, both of them like minus 110, or becoming a favorite in the end. So if you can get on Norma Dumont early, I think that's probably your best plan. All right, so that wraps us up. Our best bets on the UFC fight night: Aspen Ladd versus Norma Dumont. Neel Shaah, the better Shaah brother. First episode, like I said, happy to have you. Definitely had some great insight. Did your homework. We got our picks. If you think you got a better one, comment it down below. Other than that, good luck, everybody. Hopefully we win some cash, and we'll see you next week with some better picks, better predictions, and some more money in our pockets. For Neel Shaah, Ian Walsh, this is the Dr. Stoppage Betting Show. Take it easy, everybody.